starring WWE superstar Hornswoggle. I thought this was a joke, but they really did make a Leprechaun movie without Warwick Davis. Well, maybe it won't be that bad.
No hope! No hope!
All of these shitty remakes, is there a single gem? They did it right already. Get all the candle to them. Which any are we watching? Which personality? One thing's for sure, good people. We got some movies to see. We got boots to read. Stop ready to stop that shit. We got boots to read. Stop ready to stop that shit.
Hello and welcome to Boots to Reboots. In honor of St. Patrick, I made the mistake of watching the 2014 reboot of the Leprechaun series, simply titled Leprechaun Origins. The movie was directed by some guy and stars nobody. The movie was produced by the WWE, whose other critically acclaimed films include... No. Oh God, no. The Leprechaun series consisted of 6 movies which starred Warwick Davis as the evil yet hilarious antagonist in every installment.
This old left, he played one, he played pogo on his lawn.
Hell, the first movie was the film debut of Jennifer Aniston's original nose.
Having problems? Do you need a hand?
So how would Leprechaun fans greet this 7th film without Warwick Davis? Remember when they made a Nightmare on Elm Street movie without Robert Englund?
Kinda like that.
If you're gonna watch this movie, I recommend a lot of booze.
Way ahead of you.
Considering that he's been everywhere else, like Las Vegas, outer space, and the hood twice, it's surprising that this is the first Leprechaun film to be set entirely in Ireland. Leprechaun Origins starts off like too many other horror movies. We see some throwaway characters being chased by some unseen creature. Fine, you can do my homework! The couple are trying to get to a stone for some reason, but are hunted and dragged off by velociraptors.
Good thing we never learned their names.
Our main characters, if you can call these characters, are 4 backpackers visiting Ireland. There's Sophie, her boyfriend Ben, Jenny, and her boyfriend David, who you may recognize from Freddy vs. Jason. They're in Ireland to visit a 300-year-old village. However, their driver is reluctant to go past the stone and drops them off.
The village is down that road a stretch.
They'll just down this road? Do you mind driving us another 15 minutes into the village?
No.
Somebody's in a hurry to get a McDonald's Shamrock Shake.
Our backpackers pass the stone and get creeped out by... locals.
Now that's creepy.
I didn't know this movie had a leprechaun and Santa Claus.
At a pub, our characters meet a man named Hamish who tells the group about some ancient stones that intrigues them.
You need to see the Clocha Dinadea.
The Clocha Dinadea. Stones of...
The stones of the gods.
Stones of the gods, huh? Must have hurt like a bitch passing those. Ugh. You're in a foreign country and a stranger wants to show you something not mentioned in any tourist guide.
Seems legit.
Well, Hamish and his son Sean take our characters to a little cabin out in the country.
And who doesn't like this summer?
What's you love about it, Nancy boy?
Did he just call me a Nancy boy?
How did he know his last name was Nancy Boy? On the way, Hamish tells the kids about the stone they saw walking into town.
Them stones have been there for centuries, long before our village was built. But I tell you, about 15 years ago, we discovered gold in old Celtic cave, turned it into a mine. Stones were there too.
And also a Starbucks. Who knew? They reach the cabin and it's definitely seen better days.
Ah, no, she's solid.
The inside.
Just need a lick of paint, that's all. Good as new.
Well, this sounds like a job for three guys that paint.
Painting cabins and killing leprechauns is their specialty. Hamish then leaves them some beer and says goodbye.
I didn't bring my Rolex.
You're a funny boy. But there's lots of other things I could steal from you.
I think he wants to rape you.
On the way out, Hamish leaves behind his Rolex as bait for our little green friend. Also that night, we sense some tension between Sophie and her boyfriend Ben.
Do you really think you could give all this up?
Eh.
I think he doesn't like her very much.
Meanwhile, in the other room, David and Jenny show us how it's done.
David!
Yeah, that was hot.
Eventually, Jenny notices something very strange running around outside.
Oh, that's why they call it the woods, babe. Lions and tigers and chickens and shit.
It's true. During a camping trip, my cousin was pecked to death by wild chickens.
Revenge was a dish best served battered and fried.
It was pretty yummy.
They decide to check it out and realize that they've been locked in.
It's locked.
What?
What?
Locked from the outside.
That's right. Get really close to that chimney and ignore the growling next to you.
I've seen Chris Farley do worse.
Well, the time has finally arrived. It's time to reveal Hornswoggle as the new Leprechaun.
That's supposed to be a leprechaun?
Yeah, you're probably wondering what the fuck was that? Well, it's definitely not a leprechaun. A leprechaun is a little old elf-like creature that wears green, buckled shoes, and a hat. This leprechaun looks like something from The Descent. What's even sillier is that, I kid you not, it has leprechaun vision. Yeah, it sees things in gold. What the fuck? It's not a leprechaun. That's Pumpkinhead's aborted love child.
Even I'm gonna need this. Yuck!
What's worse is that you never really get a good look at the creature. It's always quick cuts, extreme close-ups, POV shots, and the leprechaun vision. When you do see the creature, the shot is usually shaky and intentionally out of focus. The creature is hardly on camera, and when it is, it isn't.
If it were me, I'd try to hide that shitty creature too. Hey, Dr. Aquatus, you wanna watch a really bad movie? Dr. Aquatus! Dr. Aquatus! I said wake up! I think I might have hit him on the head too hard with that baseball bat. I'm gonna pee on you! I'm gonna pee on you! Okay, here I go.
The backpackers are able to escape through the chimney hatch, but not before David gets his leg chewed on. In all fairness, it's probably better than the catering. At a nearby farmhouse, our characters are able to scare away the creature by turning on some lights. Wait, what?
I didn't know that leprechauns were scared of lights.
Because it's not a thing!
They then decide to look for a phone in the most logical of places. The basement. What's next? Are they gonna arm themselves with a kitchen knife from the attic? Outside, we see that there's some tension between Hamish and his son, Sean.
by letting innocent people die.
No, Sean, not innocent. Outsiders. Now, they came here of their own free will. We're just giving them a little push in the right direction, that's all.
This movie is pushing their careers into the toilet. Our characters don't find a phone, but do find a bunch of belongings from previous victims. In the basement, Sophie also discovers a book that holds all the answers. So we learn that the villagers found a leprechaun's cave and took its gold. Now, in every other Leprechaun movie, Warwick Davis would come after the characters who took his precious gold and killed them to get it back.
I missed ya.
In the reboot, the villagers sacrifice outsiders as food so the creature will leave them alone. So this leprechaun would rather eat people than have its gold?
Are we sure that this is really a leprechaun?
We also find out that the reason the girl in the opening scene was trying to get to that stone is because the creature can't go past it. So you mean to tell me this leprechaun doesn't wear fancy clothes, speak, have magic powers, is afraid of lights, eats people, and is confined to a certain area by rocks?
How is he supposed to go to outer space?
Hamish's gang discovers that our characters escape the cabin and they head for the farmhouse. Sean finds them in the basement and is visibly torn, wanting to walk off the set. However, Hamish is distracted when his buddy Ian is attacked by the creature. You know, speaking of flares, I've seen Ric Flair promos that were bloodier than this movie. Our last death scene was 48 minutes ago. Well, it turns out that Ian was impaled by some farm equipment.
The creature's been watching too many Michael Myers movies.
Meanwhile, our characters break out of the basement and Sean lets them go. They decide to make a run for the stones, come across a passing car, and are relieved to see the nice old barmaid from the pub.
What are you kids doing out here this time of night?
We need your help.
Hurry, get in the back.
Thank you. Let's go.
But to no one's surprise, we find out that she's in on the whole sacrifice thing.
Oh my god, she walked in?
Good work, Mary.
Thank you, Hamish.
After a brief struggle ending with our main characters being overpowered by two senior citizens, the gang is captured and tied to some trees.
That's probably gonna get infected.
David then gets his tummy scratched, allowing him to get loose and free the others. Unfortunately, his devoted friends leave him behind to be turned into leprechaun poop.
Oh shit! Sophie! Sophie!
The remaining characters then decide to head for the stones.
We've got to keep going back to the cabin.
What? Why?
Yeah, why?
Because we're gonna kill it.
Sure. Let's see how well this turns out.
It's coming!
Moron! Let's go back to the cabin, she said. I'm gonna kill the leprechaun that isn't a leprechaun, she said. It's okay. Apparently they weren't that close of friends because Sophie is over it within 10 seconds.
There's a truck.
She is a stupid, heartless human being. I like her.
Sophie and Ben try to take the truck, but untimely relationship drama?
Why didn't you come back? When I fell, why didn't you come back for me?
Because he obviously doesn't like you. After finding the keys, the creature shows up and chases them back into the farmhouse. You know, instead of just breaking up with Sophie, Ben decides to let the creature rip his spine out. Yes. Thermal vision, spine ripping. This thing has more in common with the Predator than it does a leprechaun.
As the leprechaun grabs him from below and pulls him down, and just like in Psycho, reaches up his arm and plunges down, grabbing his spine and slowly ripping it out.
Has the director ever seen Psycho? When did Norman Bates become synonymous with spine removal? Sean and Hamish return, and Sean finally stands up to his father.
Run! Get out of here!
You're gonna shoot a girl, Dad? Is that what you become? A murderer?
Andy, can't we watch Hot Fuzz instead?
No, Dad.
Danny, you will do as you're told.
I'm not taking orders from you anymore.
After a brief struggle, Hamish falls down some stairs and Sean watches as his dad is devoured. Yeah, you sit there and cry. Outside, Sophie drives off towards the stone, but the leprechaun snags a ride. Instead of slamming on the brakes to throw the little bastard off and run him over, Sophie buckles up and crashes the truck. Of course, the creature is still alive, so all she really did was wreck her escape vehicle.
I thought it was stupid earlier, but I say go back to the cabin. Third time's a charm.
While running through the woods, Sophie stumbles upon a backpack belonging to the victims from the opening scene. She discovers some gold coins, which I'm sure are only there to pass this off as a Leprechaun movie. Sophie also discovers a blade nearby, and as the Leprechaun approaches, she strikes.
Fuck you, Lucky Charms!
The line, "Fuck you, Lucky Charms," is the only thing taken from the original. There's a funny scene where the leprechaun eats some Lucky Charms. However, the company didn't want them to use their cereal, so they reshot the scene with a spoof brand. The unhappy film crew changed the line in the movie from "Your luck just ran out" to
"Fuck you, Lucky Charms."
In the reboot, that line doesn't match the film's tone and felt shoved in. The film finally ends with Sophie doing what she should have done with her friends a half hour ago, running past the stone, but not before teasing a sequel that I pray never happens.
"78 minutes of my life I'll never get back."
Technically, it is 90 minutes because the end credits are 12 minutes long. Let's take a second to examine that title. This movie doesn't feature a leprechaun, nor is it a prequel, nor does it tell any origin story. That title is bullshit. Origins is related to the original series by name only. Let's be honest. There should have never been 6 Leprechaun movies. The only reason there were is because of the actor Warwick Davis. He made that series by creating an entertaining character. A character in a series Hornswoggle admits he's never seen, but believes his version is better.
I've never seen any of them.
Really? Still haven't?
Still. No. I'm glad. They're gonna walk out going, what was the name of that other guy that played the leprechaun?
Wow.
This creature doesn't have the look, behavior, or motivation of a leprechaun. If the creature had magic powers, that could have resulted in some creative death scenes.
You may feel some pain. 'Tis a pity I forgot me Novocaine.
Instead, the death scenes are incredibly dull and unoriginal. It just eats people. WWE Studios took a fun, silly idea like a killer leprechaun way too seriously. It doesn't work as a gritty, violent horror movie grounded in reality. I honestly don't think this project started out as a Leprechaun movie. It feels like someone had a script for a generic cabin-in-the-woods monster movie and the WWE slapped Leprechaun on it, changed the setting to Ireland, and threw in a couple shots involving gold. I think the creature is never on camera, not to create mystery, but because it's embarrassing. Wasn't intended to be a leprechaun, and because Hornswoggle delivering dialogue would be laughable. Hornswoggle isn't in the same league as Warwick Davis, so they had to hide his weaknesses. You never even really see the monster, so what was the point of casting a dwarf? This could have been a full-size person or even a CGI character. I am baffled by every creative decision that was made in this movie. Therefore, the only thing Leprechaun Origins will find at the end of the rainbow is the boot. Leprechaun Vision. Really? This has been Boots to Reboots. Thanks for watching.
I come from the land of the Irish Spring. Dublin's the place where I learned my thing. From the Emerald Isle to your place in the hood, I'm the man of green, come to do no good. Left in the hood, come to do no good. Left in the hood, come to do no good.
I'm drunk.